I'm now pleased to welcome Dr. Adam Scholefield from We Play Sport to talk about the Holmenkollen Project on the automatic customization of sports videos highlights. Please welcome.
I'm going to talk today about the Holmenkollen Project, which is a joint project between the Chile Lab at EPFL and We Play Sport, which is a startup, and it's the media collaborator was the Radio Television Swiss. So on the 8th of March 2020, there was this cross-country ski race, and Pierre Dillenberg, who's the head of the Chile Lab, had finished the day skiing, and he arrived in the evening to watch back this race. So he's a big cross-country ski fan, and he started to watch this event. And as he was watching through it, it was quite foggy. There wasn't a lot happening, so he started skipping through this video, trying to find the interesting moments within the event. And it turns out that, in fact, there was one main attack that happened after 47 kilometers, and Pierre kind of lost patience. He didn't want to watch this 2-hour, 50-minute broadcast, and he actually couldn't find this interesting event in the video as he was skipping through. So this made him think that there's got to be a better way to watch back these types of events, even for sporting events where there's maybe not the resources to have a team of people putting together a complex highlight video. At the same time, I was starting to think about a startup that we're putting together, which was focused really on passion athletes. So what I mean by a passion athlete is someone who practices their sport normally multiple times a week, often tens of hours a week when you count training, competitions, traveling to these events, and they spend lots of money on these events. So they're heavily invested in it, but normally after they compete, they either have no video of what they've done. Maybe they have a full video, so a bit like this Holmenkollen thing where you've got an hour-long video of your full match, but not the kind of just a few interesting moments that you want to watch. And when you contrast that to how people are consuming media today, particularly youth, with things like TikTok and Instagram, there's a big gap between this hour-long video of a sports event that we've got so we can watch in a replay and the type of content that people are consuming. And so the idea of this Holmenkollen project was really to bridge this gap in that can we take these experiences that are kind of long-form content and summarize it in a way that's not just applicable to very kind of high-level events where you've got lots of resources to do it, but can you do it in a way that's cost-efficient to generalize to many different types of events? And so there's three things that we looked at which are all interconnected. So automatic highlights, also personalized content. So the example I always think of here is the highlight video in a youth sports match for one parent is very different to another parent, right? Every parent just wants to see their kid and doesn't care about anything else. And so it's no good just making one highlight video for these types of events. If you think about it, you can actually make content that's much more engaging for each person if you can personalize it in this way. And then the final thing that we wanted to focus on was this idea of an adaptive video player. So what I mean by that is not just that we're going to create maybe 10 different highlight videos of this event or 100 different videos, but we'll create a user experience and a user interface that allows people to interact with the video dynamically. So they can choose how to navigate through the content. Hopefully they can find content within the video in an efficient way. So one of the things we did at the outset was to build this web app which was along this direction of an adaptive video player. And so at this stage, it was really a research study. There was no focus on aesthetics. But what we wanted to do was to take a video, add some additional interactions, some different enhancements into the video, and see if that allowed people to navigate the video more efficiently. So here you see a few examples. On the right, we have a timeline of events, and underneath there's a couple of graphs, and these are connected to the video. So if you click a point in the graph, it's going to jump to that moment in the video. And what we wanted to see was if these events actually allow people to find content more easily. And so to do that, we did a research study where we split the participants into three groups. The first group had a normal video player, so with no enhancements. The second group had a subset of enhancements, and the final group had all the enhancements. And then we asked them a series of questions and looked at their responses. So we had lots of questions, but a few examples are here. So was the game close? When was the bronze medal ceremony begin? So this match that I showed there was actually the basketball final from the Olympics. So there was a medal ceremony at some point in the video. So when does that occur? And who's a standout player in a particular team? And what we found in this user study was that responses were not only more accurate with these enhancements, but also people responded quicker as well. So it was kind of a first step in showing that these type of features can speed up video search. And then what we did was we started to move to a larger group of people. So we did something in water polo, mainly because we had the contacts to pull this off. So what we did is we did a beta study with 400 matches. So we took a water polo league. There were 5 men's divisions, 3 women's divisions. We recorded all their matches over a full season, over 400 matches, over 1,000 athletes. And then we wanted to record this match these matches using as little human resources as possible and as little expense. So we said, okay, you don't even need to buy a camera, just use smartphones. You've already paid for a good camera, so why not use that one? We put them on tripods like this, which were fixed all the match, and we just said, open the camera app in the smartphone, hit record before the match starts on both phones, press stop after the match, send us the videos, and we'll try and do something interesting with it. So what we did was we created this mobile application where people could go in and watch back these matches. They could watch back the full match, automatically generated highlight videos, and there was also a timeline of events where you could see different events, and again, if you tap on it, you would jump to that moment in the video. And so this kind of beta project is kind of like the seed of what the startup does today. So the startup is an extension of that. We play sport. Today, we don't ask people to record using the camera app in the phone. We have a dedicated recording app where you can record sports matches. These are streamed as you record to the cloud, so it's much easier than sending huge files after you've recorded. But again, we generate these automatic highlights. We actually now generate a lot of statistics as well, and we have leaderboards where people can compete, and all these things are linked again to the video. So if there's a leaderboard with all top goal scorers from a season, you find your name there, you click on it, you'll see all these goals. Or if there's a statistic that's, I scored 3 goals out of 5 shots, I tap on that, I'm going to see these 5 shots and the 3 goals. So everything's connected to video always with this content. So here's just a really simple example of the type of highlight video that you get. So the main thing to see here is just that compared to a kind of a high-level sports broadcast, it's clearly not super high quality. It's very simple to create in theory, but to do this at scale, automatically, at a price point that makes it work for these events is the challenge. But if you can meet that challenge, we see you get some really impressive feedback. So these 4 comments on the right here are actually directly from the beta study we did with the IMI. So this was straight out of the bat with a very simple kind of MVP that we put together. People were really impressed by it. And then the 3 kind of engagement figures I put there, they're directly from the startup today. So that's kind of beyond the IMI project. But what it shows is, I mean, people who know these numbers, these are really high engagement numbers. Kind of 21% of monthly active users also use the app every day. 3 minutes per session in the app. This is really people engaging in this content. And so I've done a talk where the kind of magic behind it is AI, but I've not really mentioned anything about AI. So just very briefly, that's kind of what unlocks everything that we're doing. The challenge is to take these videos that you get, look at the video, we use audio cues as well, and then to understand what's happening, work out when people shoot, when they score, do all these different events. And there's 2 main challenges to that. If you start letting users record video, you can imagine the quality of content you get. Often people don't think about the lighting conditions when they're setting things up, so you get really bad lighting conditions, badly placed cameras, all kinds of things that you can't even imagine. And you need to build these algorithms that are robust enough to handle that, so you need quite large models to be able to do that. But then you're squeezed at the other side as well, where you need to do this in an affordable way. So you need to kind of be smart, trim down your models to be cost efficient, to process things efficiently. And so that's really the challenge that the startup works on in this AI field, is kind of combining these 2 different things. But as we saw on the last slide, when if you can do that, this content is so personalized and relevant to people that they really do engage in it. So that's pretty much all I want to say. Maybe just one last thing, that I do think we play sports, obviously doing this thing for passion athletes, this broadcasting all these events, but I do think there's also a huge opportunity more generally. I know how hard it is to get media rights for a lot of these big sporting events today, but if you kind of move down a level in terms of sporting event, you need to serve a wider range of events, you need to be more efficient with your processes, but people really do engage in that content if you find these niche markets. There's normally passionate people there as well. So thank you to the IMI for the project, and thanks for listening.